can I even do like a search, just like the quick scope, any hidden cameras?
Yeah, go for it. Do that
Also
investigation.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Ooh, you go a searching and you find nothing. There's no hidden cameras in the room.
Bitchin'. Okay. So, like, as Stacking is like finishing up his search, he turns to Wade and goes, "Well, that now check your person."
Exactly.
Yes, let's check Wade, where there's definitely probably a camera on his somewhere.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We didn't have any gems of conversations before this that should have been recorded.
I
Yes,
know.
you'll find out about them in like 2 weeks or 3. I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't know. Things are changing every day. Yay! We're back after our 4-hour-ish session. From
4 hours
Like a
and 10
stream.
minutes.
Wow, no one rewatched it, obviously, to have the exact timestamp.
For real, damn.
Like 12 times.
I know why I had to rewatch it.
Who has the seconds, though? Who's that?
Okay,
Uh,
see, that'd be
no.
me. I could totally get that in my edit.
That's
No,
so
if you
precious.
look, I timestamped it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
What?
Bless your heart.
Go look at the most recent video. I timestamped it for you.
Oh
That's
my
nice.
God.
That's nice.
And
No.
if you click on it, it will go directly to it. So
I had to spend
The
4
very last
hours with it. More than that. Jesus.
This is so cute. You all are such fans. But anyway,
Yeah, I've watched it upwards of 5 times, maybe.
good.
Holy.
that
That means it was a
same.
good session. That means
Sorry.
it was damn good.
No, it is. If you haven't watched
So.
it yet, what are you doing here?
True facts.
Yeah, go watch
back
it.
and
No,
watch
actually,
4
watch
hours.
this.
Watch
go watch
this?
that.
What? No.
Yeah,
If
watch
they haven't seen
no.
the long stream, then why are you here? Go watch that first. Because you won't
Actually, yeah,
understand what's going on
True.
here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Quentin
watch
Tarantino
all-
shit.
99 hours worth of content.
facts.
But go watch
It's worth
everything. True facts. So anyways, let's do a recap of what happened last time in the 4 hours. Who anyone. Y'all watched it. Go through with it.
Yeah, Jesus.
Just my brain broke. I started the sentence and I was like, I don't remember what happened. No, I do. Please,
You want to take?
go on. Anyone.
You want to take
Quick,
this one,
like,
Silas?
3-minute rundown. Let's go.
We went back to base. We had school. We went to. RQ gave us the document, or had his friend give us a document. Then we went to the med bay. Saw Elara go cray cray mode. All of us have a mental snap. It's the next day. We go to class, and now we're kind of talking it out. And after, including part of that talking it out, was weird lyric silence bullshit. Yep, done.
And
Great,
R2 and stocking bullshit.
Yes, beautiful. Perfect. Great time. 30 seconds. It's not even 3 minutes.
Wow,
So
that was
anyways,
great.
perfect. So it's the middle of the night. After everything had occurred, you all went to sleep. And y'all think I'm joking. That is our recap. That's it. We're done. Sounds great to me. I'm a quality analyst. I don't care anymore. Sounds great. So anyways, you all go to
That's
sleep
quality.
after having your romance. And your little like romance moment of cuteness, Lady and the Tramp. So then we go from there. Everyone else kind of goes to sleep or whatever Connor and Wade do at night. But regardless, Stocking, can you roll a constitution check for me?
I sure can.
Thanks.
Maybe.
I suddenly
Please
have the
hold.
hiccups and need to stop listening to this late night vibes to calm vaporwave, deep ambient, slow core office wave.
Please hold while a constitution check, you said? Not a saving throw? Okay.
Whichever. I don't care.
Okay.
Come on.
5. Perfect. It's
It's
Oh.
perfect to what I wrote.
Wait. Saving throw. Ha!
Even better. Equally
That
terrible.
one guy just, I don't know if you heard him, but he walks into the kitchen and goes, do a saving throw, it's higher!
Come on now, Stocking. Get it together. Thankfully,
no.
both your rolls actually go into what I wrote. So bless. The heart of the cards is in my side tonight. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kaiba.
No.
Anyways, blessed Kaiba. Anyways, my favorite character from that show. So you've
That's
been
what
laying
really
in bed
came out of the egg.
truly, Kaiba.
The blue eyes white dragons.
With his up hand pose, like outrageous hand pose.
You love those hand poses, though. Don't
do.
even
It's
lie.
so
I love
rough.
them. I love them. That freaking double jointed monster. But anyways, so you've been laying in bed for hours, Stockeen, and you're just uneasy, restless. You know, there's a lot on your little noggin brain tonight. And you finally decide to
Yes.
just leave your room because you're like, F this. I can't go to sleep. And you look pretty out of it naturally, like more out of it than you normally do. And as you
Mhm.
walk out, I should probably get off of the starting screen if I knew how to run a campaign tonight. So sorry, folks. We are in for a journey. So, anyways, y'all are here, not on the cool news starting screen with a bunch of lore implications. I'm sure you all caught on to. And you walk out. You don't see Silith. Get the F out of there, woman. No.
I did.
Instead, you see. Is he actually a token? I don't think I made him a token. No, I didn't make him a token. Why would I have ever done that? I made
Yeah,
him a
that's very
token down
strange that
here.
you haven't.
There we go. He's a token. I just had to go
We
to
haven't
my
really
other
seen him in a long
folder.
time.
So you see Spears kind of just sitting out here on his laptop, and he looks over as he hears you kind of walk out of your pod, and he's like, pretty quick glance. His passive's pretty effing high, so it doesn't matter. And he's like, Stuckeen, are you okay? And he stands up, and he kind of like looks at you, and he looks actually like a worried person and not his usual
Wow.
deadpan self. And he kind of leads you over to the couch and grabs a bottle of water from the fridge and sits down. And he goes, what's going on?
Having trouble sleeping, I guess, but I mean, you would too if you've learned. And Stacking kind of trails off a little bit, and he raises his eyebrow a bit, and he goes, "How much do you know about, I guess, our superiors?"
Which one in particular?
I don't know any of them. Like, Stacking, because of his lack of sleep, is going to be a little irritable. But he just goes, "There's kind of a lot going on. You know how I don't have to preach to the choir about lack of sleep because you have so much on your mind.
What's on your mind?
I mean, we learned some stuff about Elara today, and it's just a lot, you know."
And he kind of looks and he's like, I'm sorry, but I am a safe ear to listen to anything you need to vent about. You are the team lead, and we're here to support you any way we can.
In a way, and he kind of looks. Can I do a perception check to see if I notice any cameras in the vicinity? I'm assuming there are
Yeah.
some, but
Yeah, go for it.
maybe I should be down here by my perception. Ah,
You see the normal camera you see in this room.
okay. Well, he just goes, I'm a little on edge to kind of talk about things, I guess. Ugh. So when he's kind of breathing a I don't really know how to describe it. It's like one of those where like someone is trying to figure out the correct words to say, and he's just like staring off and trying to look at things, and he goes, "Do you know how to turn off the cameras?" And he kind of whispers a little.
Not myself, no.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I know someone who does, but I'm not going to ask them to do that. Seeing
I mean
it's,
that's
you know, breach of a lot of things, I imagine.
Stacking rolls his eyes. Yeah, I guess. Military and all that. Sure. How? I guess. How? Have you noticed anything funny, like during your time here? Like, just not normal? I mean, I get everything is kind of not normal here compared to being in prison, but just seems a little weirder here than normal, I guess.
Um, well, I'm not used to a prison setting. I grew up in a broken home with, you know, a mom who was pretty out there. So this is what I always imagined normal life would be like in some regard. So I'm not
Really?
too upset about it. Well, I
Hmm.
mean, yes, it's a little odd working for the military and being a criminal. He puts in quotes, a criminal, but overall, you know, I don't find it bad or worse. I think ultimately I just want a normal life. And if this is the way for me to get it, then I'm gonna go and get it.
Don't we all want a normal life? But I I don't think here would be the proper channel to get it. Uh, have you, I guess, normal? And Stakin just kind of throws his hands up in the air. How is this normal to you? I guess. But has anyone told you, has RQ maybe mentioned some things about Elara that have just
About
kind of seemed a little off?
uh no. I haven't worked with Elara directly, so I don't have much
Hmm.
contact with her like you guys have had.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, but he hasn't mentioned anything about her in passing. Maybe about, like, I don't know, things the two of them have done as far as, or like goals of theirs or anything. Like,
No.
huh? You think they would?
Mm,
Or, well, I suppose he's a little more tight-lipped, but has he mentioned what we're supposed to, like, be doing outside of, finding Quentin?
uh and he kind of like thinks for a moment and he closes his laptop and he's like, honestly, Stalking, whatever is going on with Team A, I've noticed it on the trip as well. How Team A and Team B function or I guess Squad A and Squad B function are very different. Working with RQ was a much different experience than working with Elara from what I saw. And to be completely honest, I think ultimately me and the rest of Squad B are not going to be a part of this team for long. Or at least it doesn't seem like we are as integral as you all are. So I
Really?
don't know anything about goals or whatnot because maybe I'm just a little bit different given the circumstance, but I don't see team or squad A getting reached out to by other teams and members and seeing if we want to join their team going forward and such. Like, we're free game. All of you
What are you
are off
talking
limits.
about?
No other commanders reached out to you to join their team.
Not that I'm aware of.
That has happened to all three of us already.
The hell?
It seems like we're free real estate while you all are kind of stuck here.
We suck.
I'm not even gonna lie. At first, I thought he was talking about when Sanchi reached out to him and be like, "Join our team.
Mm,
Take me with
but
you."
You want to trade teams?
No,
Hmm.
I
Why
like
not?
my team.
You don't like our team?
I don't dislike it, but we work well together, us three.
Oh, I mean,
I
I'm
would be
sure you'd work.
interested in working.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd work pretty well with the four of us as well.
More than likely, yes.
But it wouldn't be the four of you. It would, because
Not
you trade
important.
teams, Sanchi.
Why are we
I
concerned
mean,
over
it
the small
takes.
details?
But ultimately, it's, its own thing. But I think Squad A and Squad B are going to have very different functions with whatever the team's ultimate goal is. But I think for now, they're just focused on getting us through training.
Hmm. I mean, I guess any interesting prospects come up in your your future? Anything you're interested in?
Well, I know for sure, while Team 10 is reached out quite often, I'm more leaning towards
Oh,
Team 12 personally.
really?
Yeah,
Did they tell you what they wanted?
no.
Hmm.
Commander Hacker has been having numerous lunches with me so far and such, and is really pushing for me to get on their team. She likes how quick I'm advancing through all of the hacking modules and such. Plus, Leo told me it was a good fit for me as well. So,
Leo, huh. I guess that makes sense. So you'd be doing a lot more hacking and computer stuff, right?
yeah, pretty much. I know the medical team has reached out as well, and Team 10, of course, but I'm not really looking to kill people. So,
Yeah, that sounds like you. Well, nothing, I guess, really. It, I guess, kind of strikes me a little weird that our Q, well, I guess it doesn't, but that our Q really hasn't spoken about Elara that much. He's not really an open book, but you think if he's training you guys, you'd know a little more about her. Seeing as how she's, important in the army and everything, or the military and whatever.
well, I've heard at least that, but I've yet to see why she's important. I imagine it's for things that are far outside of my scope right now, and I'm just focused on getting my life back. I have an opportunity to start my life, so I'm gonna take it. Whether it's through the military, if I stay in the military afterwards. But
That's a very fair point. If I were in your position, I think I'd do the same thing, but I don't think I really have that luxury. Or at least, I guess if people are reaching out to you guys and not my team, you gotta kind of wonder, right?
I mean, you guys were also out in the field, so you haven't had much chances for interaction. But
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that does mean something. Uh, what have people been talking about us? Like, what?
no,
It seems more like a Wade question to me, but
I mean, he would probably know. He speaks to, he like kind of rolls his eyes, everyone.
I was gonna
But
say you're not exactly Mr. Social, no offense.
I'm not until apparently now when everyone notices me. But, you know, it's what happens when you're top of the class, I guess. So,
Yeah, I mean, you lay low and talk when you need to. Everybody kind of likes the air of mystery, I guess.
well, I think
Trust me, I
everyone has,
understand that more than most people do.
well, I think it's the lack of mystery that's there, but it is what it is.
I'm not so sure, but okay. Hmm.
Mm.
So, I guess have you if have you heard anything about Lieutenant Colonel Benatine? Has anyone mentioned him? Like I noticed him around the base the other day.
Our
It
Q
seemed a little
has,
odd.
or Commander Rylan has.
Yeah. The Did he say anything? I just thought it was a little odd that he shows up out of the blue. It's not even his base.
No, it's his father-in-law, so I just assumed he was working on something and came to mess with his son-in-law.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, I guess, but just seems a little weird that they'd permit it just to mess with him, don't you think?
It wasn't any of my business, so I didn't get involved with it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So what are you doing up so late?
Oh, I was just working on some of my hacking modules.
That why you are top of the class?
Probably. Are you saying I'm cheating, Stalking?
No. No, just you don't sleep, so
I do. I just sleep less than others.
yeah, you got to do something, right?
I have a reputation to uphold, or upkeep, I guess.
Yeah, everybody always does. Uh,
You seem better. You should go
I
back and try to lay down.
yeah, I guess. I guess. Thanks. You, it always, I guess, helps talking to someone if you ever need anything. And Stocking gets real awkward about it. If
He's
you
just
ever
like,
need
I'm.
anything, I guess you know where to find me if I'm not out on a mission or whatever in the field.
Good night then.
Yep. Good night.
And you walk back to your bed.
Mhm.
Morning comes, and Lyric, can you roll a Constitution check for me?
Oh
Or
boy.
safe, whichever you'd like.
What? Let's see. Which is overall better? It doesn't matter. It's a 0 either way. So
Woo!
yeah.
So you wake up early for a different reason. It's now roughly like 5 a.m., still before everybody else kind of gets up, and you're just like pumped for the day. You feel like a weight's been kind of lifted off your shoulders with everything with Silith and whatever came of that. So you walk out after getting like dressed and ready, and you notice that Spears is still out here. And you see him just kind of looking up at the television, eating like a small like bowl of granola or something. And on the TV, it's talking about the Greaseor case and how the body of Mira Bronzebow was found in her home and how her father is now being considered the murderer. But they're not connecting it to her mother's disappearance or death. And he looks at you and he goes, Morning, Lyric. You look as though you need to ask me something.
Yeah, actually. I'm sorry that if this is a little bit probably not allowed, but I learned recently that, and then he points over at the camera with his thumb. That's not the only camera in the room. And
No.
yeah, I was wondering if you could delete my visual footage sometime after we got done with classes yesterday. It, everything else that happened in that room should be fine, but I think you should. I want you to delete that shit if possible.
And he looks with you like at you with like bewilderment that you just said that like out loud. And he like sets down his bowl of granola and he just looks at you. And for once you finally see it like a frustrated face and you're like, wow, he really does look like RQ because they look identical. And he's like, I will absolutely not do that. The fact you would even ask me to commit, like, do that is, are you
Is it really
serious?
that?
I mean, I'm not willing to risk my freedom just because you and your girlfriend both forgot to ask questions about the tracking devices. And besides,
didn't know
with
that they
us
were
being
good.
on T7, like Team 17, they're always watching us like hawks. The last thing I can do is help you in that matter. And he just like storms back to his room and like slams the door as hard as he can because it auto closes. So like he can't really close it that hard. And he just walks out.
Lyric watches and goes, "Well, I'm probably gonna hear about that later."
Speaking of, the door slam. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
He's just gonna, um, I guess, go to the library
All right.
because he does. As far as I know, none of the people that he would want to talk to right now are awake.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And oh, I'll let him go. He's pissed.
Sounds good. And with the door slamming, Sanchi, you kind of wake up to your alarm as it starts to go off. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
That's me. Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing?
Well, I guess it's time for breakfast. If my
Yeah.
alarm's going off, yeah.
Is there anyone you wanted to speak to or attempt to communicate with?
Well, it's just another day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the day off? I just get
No.
to... Yeah, so I'm just gonna go about my day.
All right.
I don't even get to make a
Sounds-
constitution check?
You can,
Oh,
if you would like. Well, you wake up normal, and maybe you sit there and think to yourself, a lot's happened, and I have not spoken to a particular person in a while. That has maybe been on your mind.
well, I mean,
Would you like to
especially
attempt to
after the...
communicate?
Well, especially after the last session where
Mm-hmm.
there was a name that I had, you know, someone from my past that I trusted, but, you know, there's
Mm-hmm.
not an easy mode of communication to reach them, so...
Right.
Right. So I
So
guess
you're
I'll
gonna
just
be-
go back to the kitchen.
All right. You can head on to the kitchen and stew on how you want to handle that. So, with that, everyone else's alarm starts to go off. And Silith, you wake up. You do your morning stretches, and from there, you just kind of feel a little stiff, maybe. Roll a constitution check. Because we're all doing it this morning. Everybody, how did you
It's
CP?
the same either way.
Damn. You wake up and you're stretching. You must have pulled a damn muscle. Because you ain't feeling too hot. And ultimately, around this time, at this point, Stocking's gotten up, walked around, did whatever he needed to do, and you walk out to the living quarters because you're like, I have a bone to pick with that gentleman. And
A
you
bone
see
to pick.
Spears,
That's not the right way to put it.
but
Yeah.
ultimately you see Spears kind of like packing up his bags and such, and he looks pissed. But he's the only person you really see around. Do you go to ask him?
You know what? Yeah.
Anything? Okay.
Is everything all right?
I'm fine. Is there something you need?
No,
Someone you're
just,
looking for?
I mean, not particularly. Just normally you're a lot calmer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, sorry to bother you.
If you're looking for your team lead, he's in the gym.
Okay. And she will head over that way anyways, get there before class and whatnot.
Alrighty. So, off to the gym we go. Sakine and Silith, Sakine, you're already in the gym. Maybe you're pressing weights, getting your mind off of everything.
B.
And, not twins. So, ultimately, there you go. Silith, you see him. What you gonna talk about as he's pumping iron?
First and
comedically.
foremost, vibe check.
Ooh, Sakine, how you feeling? What's your vibe?
Vibe check.
Vibe
Vibe
check.
He's tired
Tired?
of shit.
Yeah, nah, he's just groggy. Like it's very apparent that he didn't sleep well.
Okay. I didn't know if you were gonna be busy or not, or sad or moody,
I mean, he always is, but that's beside the point.
any more than normal.
No, no,
All right, well, I'll go
he's pretty regular.
take the spot next to him, and via mind link, can I talk to you? I know you don't particularly like it this way, but
No, I don't particularly like it this way. And Stakeen does say that out loud, but I'd rather keep it that way.
I mean, I was gonna ask your opinion about everything that happened the other day, and I figured that's not a conversation to have out loud.
I suppose you're right. Keep it superficial, please.
I just. What is your opinion on all this? Do you think we can trust them?
Well, I mean, overall, you know my opinions of the military are very fleeting as a whole, but as
That's
far
why
as
I'm
trusting,
asking.
yes. As far as trusting them, I feel like truly there's nothing we really can do in this matter. As far as RQ, sure, we can trust him. Elara, on the other hand, that's might be another story. And even
Mm.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah,
Just be guarded, maybe be on your guard more than normal.
that's kind of where I'm at. RQ at least seemed like he was trying to stick his neck out for us.
Yes, but stick his neck out to us because of whom is probably what you should be asking.
True. And one other thing potentially, if possible, whatever happens, I will follow your lead. If possible, please do not ask me to kill someone. I will restrain them, I will knock them out. That is just a line that I promise not to cross again.
No. An order like that would never come from me if I can help it. There are things that I would prefer not to do either.
Thank
And
you.
that probably would be one of them.
I appreciate it. I would say that was
Of
the other
course.
reason why I wanted to ask. It seems like we have some similar opinions, morals, and possibly burdens.
Yeah,
So,
in a way
and
I guess I can see that. Um you know I'll never ask, but whenever you feel like you need to, I guess, talk with someone. I'm not a great ear for this, but I can at least always try.
I
I
appreciate
did
it.
talk to RQ the other day, by the way. I did see how much you excuse me. I saw how much you enjoyed the tacos, and at least before we go on another mission, I did ask him if we could have another night like that so you can enjoy them once more.
I appreciate it.
Of
And
course.
if you ever need to talk about anything, I'm more than happy to listen. I know it's not quite your thing, but sometimes just saying it or not saying it helps get it off the chest, lightens the load.
Yeah, I suppose that that would help, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll leave you to your warm up, and she'll go ahead and head off to breakfast then.
Alrighty. And you all continue with your normal morning. And the bell rings. It is class time, folks. Ring a ding ding. First
Oh no.
class. Get your schedules. Let's do some rolling on your schedules.
It's a proper warm up. How do I do? Mediocre, but it's better than the 2 3s from the last 2 days.
Yo.
Truly better. Can only go up from there.
Exactly.
Please hold while
I mean, that's
locate
not
my
true.
schedule.
See, me too. I have, for some reason. Oh, never mind. I'm looking in the wrong
Sounds
chat.
dirty.
Messy.
Charisma. Oh God. I always forget charisma's first, and I get really upset about it every
I
time.
know. I feel very bad for Stocking's first charisma. Is this dexterity for class number 2?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, class number 2, folks. Let's go.
There we go.
Intelligence. Oh wow, damn.
Damn, y'all get one good night's rest, and y'all are unstoppable. No,
I thought they
Mediocre
didn't
for
rest
half
well.
of us.
no.
Mediocre rest.
All right, class number 3, right?
Ah yes. Okay.
Lunch.
There's where the lack of rest
Oh shit.
Oh, fudge.
comes into play.
Apparently I got mine backwards. I thought it was Dex. It's Charisma. My bad.
Yep. We have class.
Oof.
Oh shit.
I got those
Okay.
messed up.
All right. Well, with that, hold up. We have to stop at lunch. Ding, ding, ding. Lunchtime.
Oof.
Good.
It's
Ow.
fine.
Sorry, I already ate. I'm a power eater.
It's fine.
I'm a power eater.
It's fine. It makes sense because Sanchi, you're actually next. So during lunch, after your first 2 classes, because we totally didn't roll for 3.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'll re-roll that one later
yeah, no,
then.
yeah, I'll re-roll.
Keeping
I'll
those
re-roll.
rolls. Nope, we keeping them fools.
Oh,
But
no.
it's after lunch.
Damn it.
So anyhow, Sanchi, you are looking around because as you've been thinking all morning and about everything going on, that's been in your brain on how you want to communicate with some folks and everything else that happened, you got Spears on your mind. He's your computer tech guy. Modules.
That's true.
Y'all have a whole nice little moment, and you realize during the lunchroom he's missing. So you power eat, and you actually end up going to our favorite place, the one and only. So the library that I've yet to get an actual photo for. So it's just staying the training room for the time being, and what have you. So there, you could be on the training room. And you see sitting in the room, if I was to ever have anything ready, Spears just kind of sitting at one. I almost gave him the dead symbol. different campaign. But no, you see him just sitting there, and he's just kind of working on stuff. And he looks over as you walk in, and he goes, "Hey, what's up?"
What you got there?
"Oh, I'm just working on some modules."
Oh my god, I was working through those last night. What
How'd it
the
go?
Not great. Yeah, I could use some help.
Of course. Is there any other reason why you came to see me, or just to help you out?
Well, mostly to help you out, to help me out, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got this far, and I point in the book, and then I just I don't see how this connects to this point.
Oh, okay. Absolutely, let me help you. And he sits there and gives you an actually pretty good tutoring lesson. You now have advantage on whatever skill hacking would go into.
Oh
I
boy.
need to go look
Presumably
and see what his
intelligence.
schedule says. I'm pretty sure
think
it's his intelligence. Let me go pull up his class schedule. Of course, I only pulled up your guys's because I'm a literal dumbass. And my notes, thankfully, I have them somewhere. Maybe.
You know,
I don't
you're phenomenal with technology. Did you learn this somewhere before you came here?
No. I've just had a good, lesson or so.
You know, I've met quite a number of people that would hire someone with your skills. I'm just wondering if you've ever thought about, not being here anymore.
You have a particular set of skills.
I think right now the goal is to stay here and at least discover what I can do and other skills I can get, and then maybe leave.
I
But
mean, sure, the goal for right now, like when we're not allowed to have goals, is to stay here.
Well,
But I
I
mean,
guess.
how long are you gonna let that be the goal for? 10 years?
Well,
20 years? your whole life
Until
wasted
I-
before you decide to do something meaningful with it?
Well, I'm young, so I still have a whole life to live, but
That's what all young people think.
I'm pretty sure it's accurate, Sanchi.
You know, my
I'm only
species
20.
my species don't live as long as yours, and let me tell you, 20 years goes by like that. That's basically midlife for me.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
And he kind of looks like perplexed and he goes, Is there. Well, as of now, I just want to get my life on track, I think, is the best thing I want to do, and then go from there. I want to give myself a strong foundation, you know?
Yes, but then
Don't have to worry about taxes later or anything.
yeah, taxes. I heard those are awful.
I hear they're terrible too. A wise friend once told me about them.
Yeah,
Wouldn't stop
some
talking
people
about them.
some people spend
Oh
their
my
whole
God.
life trying to escape taxes.
Truly.
But I mean,
But yeah.
just don't get trapped here if you can, do something better with your life.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna be trapped, Sanchi, but I do appreciate the words of advice. And
Yeah,
I
okay, now
agree.
tell
I
me
don't
how to
think
write a
you-
function.
Of course. And he starts showing you, and then you will have advantage in your next intelligence class.
That's right.
So, you're good. Is there anything else you wanted to talk to him about before the bell rings and you guys finish off your class day?
Well, I guess since he didn't get the story, or since Sanchi didn't get the story,
So, how do you feel about RQ and Elara? They sure seem to fight a lot, don't they?
I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time with Elara, but the most RQ really spoke about her. He's like, oddly enough, you all are curious about her today.
You
But-
all? I'm just one owl.
Yes. Well, Stakeen also asked me about it,
Oh.
so. But no, RQ doesn't really talk about her too much, except for when, he had to deal with that very embarrassing interview and how apparently Elara had requested, $500 or, I'm sorry, 500 yolks from from his account. So
Why'd you do that?
she won a bet, I guess. And so he was a little upset about that, but
Oh, yeah, that's
outside of that,
understandable.
no. He doesn't talk about her, and I mean,
Do you think that interview was really that, I kind of got the impression that RQ was, more well put together than that interview suggested. I guess what I'm getting at is, was there a reason he was interviewing so poorly that day?
I have my suspicions, but I don't know if they're accurate.
I mean, I'm here for a bit of hot gossip.
Well, I feel like he was doing it just so the news wouldn't be on everything else going on, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
that was
it's a good distraction. I mean, he's
that was my
relatively
take
good
too.
looking, I guess, to people. For me, it's a little odd to think of him that way, but,
I mean, you can
so.
appreciate a nice looking man. I appreciate nice looking women all the time.
That's good, but I think
No need
it's,
to be self conscious about it.
I don't think it's appropriate in
Yeah, you know.
any culture or species to do so. Outside of him just being my boss and everything else, but
Don't be ridiculous. It's not like you're going into his house and breaking up him and his wife.
no. I'm also not swinging that way.
All right, all right. I'm just saying you don't have to swing that way to be able to say with confidence that a man or a woman looks good.
Well, I mean, most people assume he's attractive. It just feels odd. Definitely the second one.
Oh, I
Silent.
did not pick up that they were. I did not realize they were related.
We were pretty much told that.
Ah.
But, yeah, we were all told that in the elevator.
My bad.
We don't know Spears knows.
Well, no one's
That
asked
is
if he
gonna-
knows. That's
Yeah.
the issue. Is no one's asked him anything about it.
Well,
You weren't
apparently he
told
does
in the
know.
elevator. You're at least inferring such things.
I had
But,
to double check. I had to double check.
Wait, in the elevator last
On
session?
one hand,
Yeah.
Sanchi does not
Wow.
want incest, but on the other hand, he does want incest.
I have no
No.
memory of this. I just remember in the elevator when Stakin was talking to General
It was
Benedine.
not in the elevator. It was when you guys were in the area of watching Elara go down and do her thing before everything went crazy. He asked RQ, "Oh, how's your brother doing?" And he said, "Oh, he's the squad leader and team or he's the
Yeah, something
squad
like
B
that.
lead team lead,
Ah, I see.
which is Spears." So there you go. Next spoiler alert, everybody.
Yeah, I did not pick up on that. My bad.
Oops, it's okay. Well, now
It made it better. It made it better.
Exactly. I was like, no one's spoken to him about it, so he's not just gonna go and give that information, but he feels like he's getting pressured into a corner to talk about it.
In your defense, I didn't put two and two together until Spears said something earlier, and Tori said, "Looks a lot like our Q," and I'm like, oh.
You had a whole
That's
conversation
brother.
with RQ where it came up.
How can I forget? How are they doing? How's your brother coming along with the training? I'm sure you've been thrilled to see him on the right path like you. And you notice a pause as RQ just kind of stands there for a moment. He goes, "Lieutenant Colonel Benetine, my brother is doing well. He's the team lead of Team B and is excelling in all of his training. He's doing so well that other teams have already been looking at recruiting him as once training is over. I imagine not only Major Elara will have to approve, but ultimately you. So I'll leave that in your hands."
I have no
We did.
idea how
We
that,
did.
like, I
It-
forgot
Look,
instantaneously.
some things
Like, oh,
slip
Yeah.
through.
Like, it was such a bombshell. I think I actually shouted, "I knew it" in the background.
Sorry.
Some
Anyways.
things slip through. Anyways,
It's not his type.
Brother.
Well, there
contrary.
you go.
Brother
Yeah,
stuff.
brother is not his type. However, you could do the silent lyric joke.
So contrary to like
Mother.
me not picking it up, I have Sanchi's character sheet, which suggests to me highly that Sanchi would have picked up on that. So
I think this makes it even better.
Well,
and more
that being
intentional
said,
that she's pressuring her.
Right.
Sanchi would
Like,
also
it's so much
definitely
better.
say all of these things to
Oh,
poke and prod.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all of this, I guess, just continues for another 10 plus minutes.
All right. And with that, the lunch.
Anyways, I
bell
got this
rings.
function now. Now, how do I tie it to the, like, how do I access the function into the computer so that I can, you know, get information back?
Oh, of course. Let me show you. And he kind of like shows you kind of how to make it work. And,
Oh wow.
Yep. And kind of
Is
make
this-
it do its thing.
Is this really RQ's social?
No,
Oh,
this was the test page.
ah,
All right.
We
That's
can't access socials. I'm sorry.
why?
Uh,
Wait, you can't?
No.
That seems weird for someone of your talents.
Well, more so, even if I could, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I
Want
mean
to
that's
risk it.
that's different from can't. Wouldn't doesn't mean can't.
Well, I technically can't. Plus, I wouldn't want to do that to Commander Hacker and whatnot. So
Dark used social, not Commander Hackers, but okay.
well, she kind of owns the system, so
And that's it.
or at least runs it. All right, back to class. Ding, ding, ding. Y'all did your third period, so let's go to our fourth one.
Did we all do it, or did just some of us do it?
No, I think Oh no, Lyric, you did not roll your third period.
I wrote
Lyric
charisma.
was a certified good boy.
Oh, did you? Am I
Yeah.
blind?
Yeah, I was right
One.
underneath.
Yeah. I am blind. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Never mind. Jesus Christ, I need to get my eyes checked. I'm so scared. Anyways, let's continue. Fourth class! Yay!
Oh no.
Average.
Please hold.
Beautiful.
Alright, let's see.
Oh, yeah, second to day in this class.
Woo!
Oh wait, this is the one I get advantage in.
Yes, it is.
Let's go.
Woo!
Which is reading. I have been reading.
Hell yeah.
Where is it?
I don't know, girl.
Okay, there it is. Yep. I don't know why. Like, I second guessed myself that it was Constitution, and I'm just like, oh, yep. Okay, that tracks.
That's
Wait, Constitution is the last one. For all
Yeah.
of us.
oh,
Yeah, I already
What?
rolled my strength.
Hmm.
I have wisdom as my last one. For some
Oh
reason,
no,
so I'll just
dexterity.
use
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah, I was like.
I was right to question. There.
All right, and then we have Constitution
Constitution.
checks. Everybody?
Should I just keep my 7?
No, you can roll it again. Since
Hell yeah.
You can roll again.
Damn it.
Watch you get
Yeah,
a
it's
six.
gonna probably be worse.
Watch you get
No,
a
no,
six.
no. We got the.
Oh my god, no, that would suck. I think I
I
would.
did pretty average the entire day. Mostly.
Yeah, one
Yay!
better.
Better. All right, now everyone do your wisdom checks. How did you do's? How did
Oh.
you
Good day
does?
for me. Yay.
I got a 10.
Oof.
Okay.
It's
Wow,
not my day.
that's actually not bad.
Y'all had a pretty decent day.
Not all of
Silas
us.
crushed all of you, but Silas had the best day. So it's okay. So as classes finish and everything kind of slowly dies down, everyone kind of goes off somewhere. You'll find out where you all go later. But Stakeen, you something's been bugging you all day. And the more you think about the document, the more that you're just like, I'm gonna go find him. You need to talk to Leo. You have questions about some things that was in that document that have been just on the back of your mind throughout all of your classes, and it's probably why you were actually the worst today. So,
Don't
after-
be so subtle about it.
well, you were only the worst by 1 point.
Oof. Okay, well.
Which was Sanchi at 61.
That's okay, as long as I'm not the worst.
Truly, you were not the worst by 1 point. And with that, you go wandering the halls and you start kind of like just searching around because you went to go to the cafeteria, but you couldn't really find him. But in the hallways, you end up seeing him kind of near Alara's office, like in that whole wing. You notice that not a lot of people are in this wing ever. And you see him in there, or see him kind of walking around, and he like looks up, he goes, "What's going on, team lead Stakeen?" As he like holds up his hand for a high five.
Ugh, I wish everyone would stop calling me that.
Uh, apologies. What's up?
Nothing much. I guess we found out some stuff about Elara the other day. I just have a question for you. What was it like? I guess the incident with her.
And you see like this look on his face kind of show up. And he's like, "You want to know more about the details on the day when Elara killed everyone on my team, right?"
Yes, if it's not too much to ask. I understand it's probably quite the burden.
And he just kind of like walks into an office room that's like kind of off on the side of the hallway. Doesn't look if anyone's in it because spoiler alert, no one's in it. And he like sits down and it's gonna drive me nuts. One moment, please. There we go. Sorry, the back of the screen was not as dark as it should be, and it was white. And I was like, no, give me my ambient mood. But anyways, he kind of like sits down and he motions for you to sit down and he goes, well, I guess I can just say it since you guys, know of it already, but I
Mhm.
guess without reading the report itself on that particular mission, I imagine whatever is in Elara's personal file is surrounding her side or things that pertain to her. But ultimately, we were there to take out a large group of ultimately Pochel believers. While
Mhm.
in most of the files and records, they're listed as Base 1 protesters. We all know they mean the same thing. And apparently,
Yeah.
they were attempting to break into Mount Akai. So while I was on Team 10 and still pretty fresh to the Force entirely, we were told that two people would be joining us, Rylan Quantum and Elara. We're going to be joining on this mission, but our plan would remain the same ultimately, but they would be doing a lot of the heavy work. And our plan was ultimately, or my team and most of the personnel on the team at that time were meant to just be tactical guard, as Elara and Ryland were supposed to go inside the caves where it had been known that these people were breaking into and staying at and doing whatever they did, uh, along with a small task force group of Team 10. And when we arrived, everything went, I guess, according to plan, but I could just tell that everyone was kind of on edge and they
Huh.
didn't understand why Alara and Ryland were going to be taking care of everything. And I feel like looking back on it now, Alara could probably sense that. And be completely honest, it probably should have been the first sign to me that something was going to go wrong. And the whole mission just fell off, when something's off. And I just felt it in the air and I didn't know what it was. So I figured it was just my nerves. But they entered and I was on my watch as was originally written. And we got the SOS message about an hour in. And slowly, more and more teams of guards were going in to figure out what had happened until it was just me outside. And even the last rookie that went in with before me, he said, just go out, I'll stay in, and then ultimately call for help when if something happens, and he didn't come back. And so it was just me out there, and I don't know how long it had been, but walking through the caves because I finally just entered. I was new. My speaker wasn't working for some reason at the time. Like I couldn't get a hold of anyone. And
Hmm.
as soon as you walked in, you could just smell the blood immediately. And from there, you could just the floors were like wet and I thought it was normal until I dropped my flashlight and realized that I'd been walking on my teammates essentially, seeing bits of them. And then as I leaned down to grab my flashlight, a eyeball popped out from under the pressure of my shoe. And I stared at it and realized it was my colleague, the rookie that just went in. And I don't know how long I stayed in that position as I stared back at the eyeball and I finally grabbed my flashlight, and maybe it was the repetitive just thumping I was hearing around the corner and down the tunnel. And I looked and finally stood and went in there. And that's where Alara was sitting in a pile of my whole team with the moonlight beaming down on her. The moon had a red glow as it shined just because of how much blood, I guess, was in there and everything else. And I went to take a step forward, and that's when my knee hit the Ryland's back. And I don't think I've ever seen him like that. It was my first time really working with him, but anytime I'd seen him in the halls or heard talk of him, he was the typical no emotion soldier. And that day broke him for sure. He didn't even hear me come in, and as soon as my knee hit his back, he stood up, and within a blink of an eye, Elara bolted like a wild animal. And I froze, and she was just there with her teeth jagged, body distorted. He saved my life that day, and I know if he wasn't there, I probably would be in the memorial hall with the rest of the team. And once Rylan got her down and did whatever he did, I don't remember really. I was just fixated on watching whatever was happening, but not comprehending it. It was incomprehensible. He told me to call and say that the mission was successful. So as I was walking out, I heard him break. I didn't turn around. I was new. I didn't know him, but hearing a grown man, or at least a young grown man, screaming and crying was, something where you think you just need to give them space. And I did. And then my communication system was back up. Everything was fine. And I then kind of just went on. The cleaning crew came. They immediately put me into a transport van and it's taken to medical bay. Then I was put on my own leave and put into mandatory therapy. And while I was there, I just wanted to do something good. So I spent a week with each family of the team members I had lost and helped their wives and families around their homes. And each year we host a memorial now, which the year Ryland was gone on leave when his wife was having his daughter and such, uh, it was something. Seeing Elara was then assigned to me. She didn't really want to interact with me at all, and it was mostly paperwork and the same office. And she was just doing, well, I was doing her paperwork, and she was doing something on the computer all the time. But it was nothing notable or anything out of it. But I'm not fully aware on her situation or what's going on with them, but clearly something's going on. But honestly, it's not my business. I'm just trying to move on from it. And while I'm still in therapy for it all, no longer mandatory at least, I think I'm doing well, all things considered. But ultimately, that's kind of what happened.
I see. No one's ever talked to you more about like Elara? That seems a little weird that, or especially because most of your team was the one that suffered, that I guess you wouldn't get some kind of explanation to tell the families?
No,
Hmm.
not typically. It was not within my duties to tell them, and I think most of their wives and girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever they had was they didn't really want to know why, what happened. They were all focused on just moving forward,
Of course.
which is the healthy thing to do. But is there anything else you needed to know?
Well, I guess really, y- you've never. How was RQ after that? Like, you said he was pretty broken, and
Yeah,
you didn't hear any rumors, talk to him. He
no,
didn't pay you a visit, seeing as
no,
how was your team?
no. He
Huh.
didn't even show up to the funeral or the memorial service for everyone.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me, but you'd think he'd at least know common courtesy.
I think he was dealing with himself more so. So I don't put it against him for that. Whatever happened in that room, he witnessed all of it occur. And with what even I witnessed, I don't like thinking back on that day. So I don't want to imagine what he had to deal with or still
Yes.
deals with dealing with her every day.
I
So
apologize for making you relive any traumas. That's not anything I really want to do, but it's just we learned a little bit about the two of them, and one of the things that came up was that particular incident, and I just wanted to get a little insight from you on what they were like during that time.
Well, he was on his leave, and I think we both had the same amount of time off. And I didn't contact him in my 6 months. I was busy and just getting and helping the families, and he was doing whatever he did. And then once he came back, it was back to his usual stone cold self, I guess. That's how he's always been with me ever since, but we don't really work together. After that had occurred, I was moved to Team 12, and that's where I stay now.
Yeah, not surprised really, but I guess, you don't know. You said you didn't know anything about Elara?
No, we weren't told. We were just told they'd be accompanying us on the mission.
Huh. Were you at least told a little bit about RQ himself?
No,
Anything they were doing on their mission?
nope. We were
Huh.
just told they were going to be joining us in Team 10.
Interesting. I guess not surprising, but
I mean,
hmm.
I was fresh and new. I had pretty much just gotten out of my training, almost. Maybe a few weeks after my original training, and then I was sent on that.
Some first mission, huh?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah,
But
I
he looks
apologize
nice
you
to
had to go
watch.
through that.
Thank you. It is what it is. I have a meeting I must get to though, so
Understandable. I appreciate you taking the time and going through that again. If you need anything as far as healing or that goes, just let me know. I do apologize for bringing it up.
and he just kind of nods and walks out of the room. Closes door.
That hurt my soul a little bit.
So sorry. And the day continues on, and lunch, or not lunch, dinner goes by, and it gets kind of later in the night. You all have just been kind of sitting around doing whatever you do for the day, whether it's sit outside, go on the balcony, do some extra classwork, finish your assigned classwork for the day. Silith, you realize as the night kind of dies down and everything in your head has just kind of been swirling. You've been fixating on it, but you did manage to eat a small amount of dinner, or maybe you ate a lot. Who knows? I would imagine a small
Probably not.
amount.
Probably not.
And from there, you get your classwork done, and you know where RQ's at after kind of like asking around all day. You know that he's in Alara's office, and you start to walk up and you notice that all the windows and even the little door window that's on there, all of them have like the shades down and covered so you can't see in the room.
Hmm.
Do you open the door, knock,
I'll
just
I'll
walk
do a
in?
gentle light knock, just like a two little tidbit.
And there's no answer, but you don't feel like anything's off just innately. So you open the door and you see Commander Rylan kind of sitting in a chair and on the couch, covered in his jacket. You see Alara fully asleep, passed the out,
That's what I
and
wanted, but
and you see him just kind of like lightly, kind of like pet her hair every now and then, as like there's just one light on in the room, and he's just sitting in the chair reading a book. And you notice just a small like calmness over his face, and he looks up at you and closes the book and he says, "Good evening. Is everything okay, Silith?"
more or less, I had a few follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Um, and she's trying to think like if she wants to say it out loud or not. Um,
She won't wake up if that's what you're worried about. She's out for at least another day or so.
okay. More so I don't trust. And she kind of looks up and around.
It's fair.
I guess I guess it won't hurt to say it out loud. Um, I appreciate the show of trust you had in us, but uh, how much do y'all know about me? How long has she been watching?
She's been watching pretty much ever since her, I guess, quarry, or I'm not too sure what really calls to you all, but pretty much since she got that calling and saw you that like one time when crossing the border, she ultimately was like, that's the one, and she's been just doing research ever since.
So that was after the guild took me in, correct?
Well, I believe you crossed into the border first, right?
I think they took me in. I'm pretty
Either way,
sure.
it was as soon as you got into Egg, she just coincidentally, by coincidence or not, she was near that post and saw you.
And she kind of takes a deep breath, and you can see her visibly relax a little bit, as if there was something super heavy with that question. Um,
Well,
and then what were you looking at in her the other day?
what do you mean?
When you came to Grisor to get us, you were looking at her eyes and ears. Why?
Well, she had been skipping too many of her and you see him like pause and really contemplate how he wants to word this, training sessions. And so usually I can gauge by her eyes, or usually if her ears really warm, then I know she's unstable. So yeah, you just know that when you've been with someone for so long.
And then there was mention that she's had influences on other people. There's mentions of sleepwalking and whatnot. How prevalent is that?
Her sleepwalking?
Uh, More so people around her is how it sounded.
No, she sleepwalks, but
Uh,
that's usually only when that was when she was younger. She hasn't done it in a while.
okay. She'll sit
Maybe.
down for a second and just look, like, kind of watch Elara, and then mind link with him. Is is she does she affect people around her? We've had, or more so, I've had at least two strange dreams since coming here.
And he just kind of replies out loud. He's like, you don't have to worry about the cameras and such. The only people that really watch us are very exclusive people, and or they're checking to see if you all are looking to leave. But um as for her effects, I'm not sure, unfortunately. I don't think I am one of the ones that whoever speaks to her or speaks through her called out for. So I wish I had more answers on that, but I don't, unfortunately. I think any dreams that have happened may have just been stress, but I know that's not typical in your race either. But I
That's
mean,
kind of why I don't know if it's an effect from her, and I couldn't quite tell in the documents if that's happened to other people or if it's.
well, I hate to tell you all that you're guinea pigs, because that seems demeaning.
Mm. And
But
she gives like a smart ass smile with that.
it's more so you're the first people that has had this effect on her as well. So it's a little bit new for all of us going through it. So I'm not too sure if there are effects with you guys being closer or in relation to her, or if it's just been all the stress of everything going on and your guys' life being turned upside down and whatnot. But
It seemed different.
Mm.
I've been through plenty of stressful things and never experienced something like this.
well,
And
it could be possibly because of her. It would be a reasonable assumption. But I'm just not too sure the validity of it all or the impact on it.
that's kind of why I wanted to double check if this was anything. Well, partially so you are aware, whatever higher ups, whether or not I want them to know that, and just to double check if it's a normal thing or a new thing.
I mean, I'm gonna have to document it, unfortunately, but
I understand.
yeah.
And she'll go over and sit closer to Elara and just actually start singing some like Kalishtar lullabies, like old as ones that she can remember, and just kind of staring at her, and very like quiet toned.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of looks, he goes, I know she looks so innocent and peaceful when she sleeps, doesn't she? As he like kind of like chuckles a bit.
We all have our different sides.
Very true. Was there anything else you needed to ask?
I don't think so. Alrighty, I will
I'm
leave you to it.
Sounds good. If you needed to speak to her directly, I imagine Tuesday will probably be the earliest.
Er,
She's usually takes her a few days for the joints and everything to go back to normal, and then on Monday she'll at least be up and walking, and then by Tuesday she'll usually be back to herself. It's only this bad when they make her go all out, but any other time it's about a day. But if you need to speak to her, if you have any questions for her directly that I could try to answer, I'm here. But if not, Tuesday at the earliest, and Wednesday might be more appropriate. But
I'll keep that in mind. There are definitely some things that I think only she'll be able to answer.
fair enough.
And she will head back to her room.
Alrighty. And with that, the evening air just kind of relaxing. Lyric, you are just like outside, just getting some fresh air, letting your mind kind of settle and kind of figure everything out. And you're thinking back to the moment with Spears this morning, and it's just on your mind. And Stockine coincidentally walks up outside and sees you sitting there. And you see him kind of roll his eyes and just go, oh dear. But he still continues walking because he can't turn erect now. You guys have noticed each other. It'd be too awkward for Stockine to turn back around. But you two see each other.
Wait, that's not true.
Yeah, no, stacking is like hella awkward. That's totally his MO. I'm gonna turn around.
Oop. Lyric, what you gonna do about that?
You are muted.
Lyric gonna stay the F quiet.
Yeah,
Sounds like.
Stacking is gonna
Actu-
take this moment
uh,
and look for Lieutenant Colonel Bennetine. Haha, leave.
Lich sees Stocking do that, gets disheartened, and just stays quiet on the bench.
Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Rough, rough, rough. And as you're looking around for Lieutenant Colonel Bennetine, you don't see him. You don't see him anywhere around.
Huh. Well, okay. Guess I'll go
Yep.
back to my room then. Stacking kind of shrugs his shoulders and makes towards the dorms, bedrooms, whatever they are.
Can you roll an insight check for me?
Mm-hmm. Insight.
Ooh, poor
Ayo.
Stockine.
That's
Poor
okay.
Stockine. And you sit there, and as you're walking out, you know in your gut something was wrong with Lyric. and you know that it's going to fall on you anyways.
Yep.
You don't know how, you don't know why, but you have this urge that if you don't go and resolve whatever's going on, it's going to be a lot worse for you.
Oh man, I gotta do it.
Do you turn around?
You know what? Here. We're gonna do this.
Oh, I should also probably, in the meantime,
Let's see.
after the initial thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like Stockings turned
Oh.
the around.
Yeah, he did.
All right, Stockine, you walk up to Lyric as he's sulking on a bench, no longer looking at you. What do you say?
I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but what's wrong?
Lyric looks up at you and then looks down. I'm probably wrong, anyways. You don't have to stay out here.
Sakine rolls his eyes and sits down. You're one of those people that bring it up and decide not to talk about it, but sulk anyway in front of everybody, aren't you?
I didn't say a damn
Well,
thing.
then he mutters under his breath, cherries. You'll know what that means, Zero.
Yeah, Lyric's still looking down, just says, I didn't say anything. You saw me, you turned around. You don't want to be out here, then you don't have to be.
You had a look on your face. It's pretty obvious you've got an issue. If even I can tell. You can't deny that.
Yeah, but don't you hate this kind of thing?
Yeah. But I have a feeling that somehow it's going to be my problem later.
You know, that's kind of what I thought it would be too, but. And then he just pauses. He does the Shikamaru hand thing for a second. And he says, I haven't been correct about anything. And the few things that I've done, well, I'm probably gonna have to explain something later that'll squish it all, but anyways, I can't really say what I want to say to you. And as much as I'd like to, I don't trust that I'm correct enough to say it anymore. So, even if you're acting like the word I was gonna use, I still don't know if you fit the bill.
Akeen raises his eyebrows and just like, what the hell are you talking about? And he goes, if there's anything I know about anything, you can't put stock into being right or wrong. You just kind of go and do things, especially when it comes to something like this. Don't beat yourself up. And this kind of work definitely isn't the kind of work where you want to feel sorry for yourself. So you're either going to want to, especially learning something like this, you're wanting me to be a leader, get the hell over yourself. And Sakine gets up.
Lyric grabs Stocking's hand and sits his ass back.
Roll that strength check, do you? Contested strength.
Probably
no.
not. Probably
Could
not.
it be a strength saving throw
Nope.
that I have to do?
Yeah.
No, it's only
Okay.
with Bond.
Hey.
you, Stocking, you shrug your hand away from him, but you stay there. You stay there, but you shrug your hand away from him as you stand over him.
You willing
Look,
to talk now?
Look, you son of a bitch, you hypocrite mother. You sit here and try to force me to talk when you won't talk about goddamn shit. And you know what? That's part of what I wanted to say, anyways. He like gets up and pokes his finger at Stocking's chest, well, up at Stocking's chest a little, and and um and he backs off a bit. And he just goes, "I wanted to deck you over this. I wanted to do plenty, but I have reason to believe you're the reason why my face is still intact after a couple of nights ago, or I think last week. But
It was a
I,
couple nights ago.
Yeah, after a couple of nights ago, because I can't see Elara asking anyone to go easy on me after what she let me do in that goddamn interrogation room. But you know what? At least, and then he pauses and he does a mind link. At least I know what her hand looks like to some degree. I know what RQ's hand looks like to some degree. And then he says out loud, "I don't know shit about you." And ever since the beginning of that sandpit, you've been telling us every day to trust you, that you know what the military is doing, or blah, 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 or you have some better answer than any of us. But unlike any of the people we call boss, I don't know anything about you, all right? And after what I've put together, or what I think I've put together, I then he let me just do one of these bad boys for a second. Ah, okay. He keeps it together. Yes. Um, I do not feel self pity for myself. I just don't know what to do next. I want to look to you to figure out what to do next because you're the goddamn leader, but I don't know. And then he goes into the mind like, whose side you're on? Do you want to follow RQ? Do you want to follow yourself? Don't care. Pick a goddamn side. Give me a reason to think that you're safe because right now the only thing I know about you is that. And then he puts his hand on your shoulder and closes his eyes and opens them with a bit of a glow. That you're a terrible mentor right now.
Stakeen just kind of looks down at Lyric, literally, and goes, "I'm not meant to be a mentor.
Oh, is that so?
That was never the point of this. The point of this is to basically keep us all in check. They know that I don't give two shits about anything they're doing."
There's mind links again. I thought you would have picked up on what I said. Or do I have to remind you that you're talking to a stray dog who doesn't listen to things like go or come or halt or whatever the those words are?
I did pick up on it. You're not picking up on it.
I did pick up on it. I've picked up on it for a while now. Between you telling me that you have history with them, between you saying, between the documents mentioning how she acts like your RQ when he's not around, most people would have thought, oh, most people would who are raised with jealousy in their minds would think, oh, maybe there's something different. Maybe there's something more than that. But I saw it as just she's doing what she does. But now looking at it after the documents, I wonder, for some reason, she wants the guy who hates the idea of leadership to take leadership, even though there's a Spears who's perfectly happy to be a leader. Then you have you, who has done everything to try to slight them since we got here, but they still want you to be a leader so she can have more time with you. And at the end of the day, when she could hang on anybody, she hung on you. And nothing wrong with any of that. But then we read that damn document, and suddenly things are coming a little clear. The only person I didn't see mentioned in there is I'm apparently the drunk Kalishtar, and we all know who the bird is. But I wonder who Jack Boy might be. And like their eyes are fully glowing, and he backs up, takes a breath, and goes, "I don't care what the your past has. You don't have to tell me a single detail if you really don't care to talk to us about that kind of thing. I care about who you are today. I care about who you're going to be tomorrow, and I'm going to be by your side either way. But I don't know if I can trust you until you give me a reason. If you have anything that could keep us safe, keep them safe, then I want to hear it. I won't say a word to any of the others because again, I think I might be wrong. Everything that we've read and everything that I've seen from you and why you're so quiet and why you don't want anyone to dig and why you hate this whole mental shit, it just all fits. And I want to trust you. And then he's out loud, he says, because I'd like to be your friend someday. And then he walks by Stocking and goes inside.
All right. So you leave Stakeen?
You know what? No, he'll like walk past, stop, turn around. Sorry I noted like that, especially if I'm wrong. But
Nope. You're not even gonna get to say that because Stakeen shoves you in the shoulder.
yeah, do I fall over? Because you are much taller than me. Should we do a strength save?
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
Yes.
Yes, you should.
Let's
Oh.
see. Oh wow, that's a real good one. Let's see.
Strong
So you-
arm.
No, it's just one of those where he like pushes you to get your attention kind of thing.
And he looks over. Yeah.
And you see Stakeen is visibly angry with you, like very visibly angry. And he goes, "You think I know what the is going on? I have little knowledge on this situation. Just because I knew them in the military doesn't mean I know jack shit about what's going on right now. I know just about as much as you do. The only thing I can tell from me being a leader is that they want to keep me in check. Nothing more." And
And he rolls
Stakeen
his
just
eyes.
like at this point, he's not even hearing anything anymore. He leaves.
And as Lyric sits, watches him leave, he goes, "Oh, God damn it!" He asked.
Ooh. Ooh. And as you go storming in, I was on the wrong screen the whole time, which is hilarious. Actually,
Does
I need
Sanchi
to
come
be
in just going hoo hoo hoo?
here. You go storming inside Stakeen, and Lyric, you stay outside to, process that.
Yeah.
And you walk into your room, Stakeen, and you kind of close the door like as hard as you can, because again they kind of automatically like sliding doors, you can only go so fast before they just slow down automatically. So it's kind of similar to that. And you look back at your bed and you just see Wade kind of sitting on it with his legs crossed and just kind of sitting there, and he goes, "I heard you've been acting funny and figured it was because you haven't seen me in a while. I mean, you used to
What?
see me every day and now you don't. So maybe I could ground you a bit. Some
What do you
sit.
mean
Ooh,
acting
talking to me.
funny?
Well, Spears said this morning you came out and you were all upset and whatnot. And then after lunch, I saw you just kind of moping around after coming out of the hallway. So
That
figured
doesn't seem
something was
like I'm
up.
acting funny. That seems like I'm normal.
No, I don't think so. I disagree. Come sit down and talk like old times. As he pats on your bed.
Stakeen takes a step towards the bed and goes, "Ugh, if you could only imagine." Oh.
Well, I have a wild imagination, so please tell me.
All right. I guess. Well, in my conversation with Spears, it's funny that you're here. You were actually brought up.
Was I?
Yeah.
You missed me, Stalkeen? As he winks.
Jeez. uh, uh, constant sexual advances? No. The
Oh.
way you used to get information and tell me things regardless of whether or not I wanted to hear it? Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So you need information. That's why you're so restless.
In a way, yeah.
I definitely thought it was the first reason, Stalkeen. I figured you and a
You
guard had
always
to have
do.
been together. But
Mhm.
what's going on? You need information for what?
Well, Stakeen is gonna actually, mid sentence, he kind of stops, and I'm gonna do one more check for the cameras.
Yep. And you notice there is none in the room.
Sick. Can I even do like a search, just like the quick scope, any hidden cameras?
Yeah, go for it. Do that
Also
investigation.
percept. Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Ooh, you go a searching and you find nothing. There's no hidden cameras in the room.
Bitchin'. Okay. So, like as Stacking is like finishing up his search, he turns to Wade and goes, "Well, that now check your person."
Exactly. No.
Yes, let's check Wade, where there's definitely probably a camera on his somewhere.
That first person you, no thank you.
The third eye camera.
Yep.
Damn.
So,
But
um,
anyhow.
Stacking turns to Wade and goes, "That's much better.
Ooh, this
We learned a little."
position. As he's like
What?
changed positions on the bed, and now he's doing one of the dumb like paint me like one of your French girls.
Jesus. No. And Stacking just kind of puts his hand over his face and shakes his head. Uh, no. We found out some information about Elara and RQ. I went to Spears. I'm gonna be completely honest, but I swear to God, this gets to Spears specifically. You can tell Connor because I don't really give two shits, but honestly, you can tell Spears. I don't give two shits.
Okay.
Tell whoever you want. Um, we found out some information about Elara and RQ, and it's pretty damning information regarding a lot of things. When I was talking to Spears, he said he didn't see anything, but he's also not exactly the most talkative of the bunch. Whereas you kind of are. You're very into the rumors and things. What's going around the old rumor mill? Either about them, Elara specifically, though, or if you've heard anything about my group.
And he like kind of thinks for a moment. He like rolls over and sets up the pillows, like so it raises up his back. And he goes, "Well," and then you like see him like pull a bag of popcorn from like the side, and he starts like eating. And he goes, "Well, the only thing I've really heard about RQ and Elara is that everyone assumes they're sleeping together, which clearly he's not. He's very devoted to his job and his wife, but." Outside of that, no, he's Stone Cold and Stallion, locked up and like a leash on Alara, is what most
Mm-mm.
people know about him. Outside of that, all of the general gossip about him and Spears looking mighty similar, but no one ever talks to him about it. So, but outside of that, I mean, everyone's been talking to Spears about it, so it's been a whole thing. So, well, I mean, think about it. He has a little brother, the mysterious RQ. Commander Ryland has a little brother, and it's pretty obvious. They look similar. It's not like they could hide it even if they wanted to. And so everyone's going to use him as an in. It's what they're doing. And so, besides that, he is just a freaking genius, which is fascinating to where even I'm learning how to do things. The dude's second nature to this. It's like built into his genes. That whole family line, the quantum line, must be very, military oriented. But anyways, no. So everyone's just trying to get more info about Spears, or not Spears, more info about Rylan, good old big brother Rylan, to get Spears to open up about it. But no one really knows the details of their background and how they most certainly were not raised together. Seeing we all know Spears and we all know RQ's been military baby since day one, it seems, or at least that's how he acts. So, clearly they didn't grow up together. So Spears knows nothing, and everyone just sees him as a sacred cow of information for RQ. As for Alara, uh, not much is said of current day information, which I find really odd. It's all just about, her reputation and whatnot. And yeah, That's about it, really. And her being super great at her job and flying through the ranks, and then
Hmm.
being assigned to the two new team that was formed and whatnot. So everyone's like, I guess our whole team's very hush hush for the most part, but not really. It seems like everyone's told different stories of what we're supposed to be doing. But as for your guys' team or squad, nah, the only thing that's really been said is that you all were out with Elara first, and then we all were back here with RQ.
Hmm. So do you think there was any plan for you guys to ever go out with Lara and us to be
Oh,
back
yeah.
with our Q?
Oh, yeah. RQ said that was going to happen next, essentially. There
Hmm.
was always the plan for them to be switching off in between the two.
Interesting. So I guess if Lara's reputation is the only thing that's come up since we've been working with Elara, what have you heard about us?
About you guys,
Yeah,
a lot of people felt sorry for y'all. That's for sure.
that I can imagine.
Yeah. She's known to be a pretty cold, I guess, is the impression they all get of her, that she's cold, emotionless, silent, and similar to RQ, except with a lot more anger kicked behind it, or she's at least very much more demeaning, is what a
That
lot of
sounds
them have
about
said.
right.
I don't know. Based on what I saw, she seemed pretty laid back and joyful. She seemed chaotic, if anything.
That's putting it nicely.
I'm usually a nice person, Stakeen.
Yeah, when you're not around Tasha, it's kind of a nice change of pace. Uh,
Yeah. True, true.
I guess. Hmm. So I literally forgot what I was gonna say out of character.
And just
So
that enchanting,
I
Stakeen.
guess.
So he puts down the popcorn and slowly starts crawling towards the end of the bed, like, oh, no.
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
Um,
And he rolls his eyes and like rolls the other way and stands up. He goes, well, you're seeming much more in a better mood.
I guess you can put it that way, but
Is there
I
anything
guess
you need me to do, Stakeen?
keep an eye out for my team, please.
I think you all are
Especially,
pretty safe.
yes, but at the same time, if you're going out with Alara, always keep one eye on her.
Noted.
But
And
I guess there is one more question before I've got one more question before you head out. What do you know about Lieutenant Colonel Benatine? I thought it was a little strange that he was in his base. I mean, when I mentioned something to Spears, he said that RQ, being his son-in-law. But I guess it seemed a little weird that the military would give him special clearance to come and be with his son-in-law.
I'm
Don't
sure
you
he
think?
was here on official business, but whatever that official business is, I have no idea.
But do you know anything else about him? Like, it just seems a little strange
About
that
him,
no one
I
seems
know.
to know about him or his research. It,
He's
I
just
mean,
so far up the ladder. I assumed people just didn't really know him anyways, except for those who work with him directly.
yeah, I
But
suppose that is a military
he's
thing, but
also usually assigned at base 1, I believe is what RQ had told us. So
hmm,
he didn't tell us why he was visiting. He just said he was. He's usually at base 1, and he's worked closely with him and the inception of the team. So outside of that, I don't know anything about him. I know the janitors clean extra hard when he's coming, though. So he must be pretty important if they want the floor to shine that much.
interesting. He seems like a very quirky guy. It seems like that might be something he prefers.
I didn't meet him, so I do not know.
I guess. But yeah, if the plan is still for you to go out on missions and stuff with Elara, I guess just be careful.
Always am.
Keep an eye on her, but make sure you're a little more careful than normal, I guess. The chaos kind of throws you for a little more than your regular set of loops.
It seems like it, but I feel like Squad B was kind of has a good foundation at least and was
Yeah.
set up to succeed with RQ leading us in the first mission, but it was hard work, but no worries, Stocking. I always use double protection at times. And he like winks and heads out. And and with that, funny enough, Sanchi, you've been wandering around kind of in the library most of the day, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and read a nice book in my room and
That's
relax.
right. All these
And you do.
modules are getting on my nerves.
Truly. And coincidentally, as you're walking back in, you notice that Syleth also just kind of walked in and she was standing outside her own room door, and you see her there.
I wave.
I wave back.
I look around, like we're not making like, you know, no one's around. And I sneak into Sileth's room with Sileth.
More rumors, hell yeah. I don't say that out loud.
No, it's not rumors. It's just these. Okay, well, I mean, we can
It's
gossip.
just
Man,
Is
this,
there something you needed?
yeah, I hate this place.
That makes two of us.
I do the finger wiggle, the wing wiggle that lets Sileth know that Sanchi
my
wants
wink.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
private.
So, you've been thinking about how to get out of here?
Well, with the tracking device, that's where it'd be difficult.
Yeah, why do you think I'm so crazy about learning hacking?
I mean, I don't know if that would necessarily help the tracking device.
Probably not for a few years, but I'm sure eventually, like, it's a computer chip in it.
I mean, I haven't found a computer chip on me. I don't know about you.
How else would they be tracking us? I swear it's gotta be electronic some way. If I can access the data frame where they're storing that information, I should be able to delete it.
I mean, if it's a computer chip, short electrocution might fry it. That would probably be the quickest way.
I don't hate
Maybe
it.
not the safest.
Yeah, it might be worth it. And there's all the cameras, all the microphones.
I don't like being watched this closely.
Me either. I hate not having been home for so long.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, since how I got arrested, the girls at the host club probably aren't that worried about me, but still. I'm just more worried that the interest on my debt's gonna go up even higher now.
Yeah, that seems like a big problem. I would be concerned as well.
Oh, that's what I forgot to ask RQ about, is if they could just put my paycheck towards that. The interest is gonna kill me.
They probably could. I mean, they could probably even erase the whole thing. You haven't thought to ask?
Little distracted the last 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
Seems like every bad thing in my past wants to be dredged up, and for once I can't just shove it further down.
Yeah, crazy document, huh?
That's one way to put it.
They've been watching us for so long. I mean, I guess the military watching the Thieves Guild isn't anything new, but I mean, us specifically seems a little bit out of place.
The Quori bit I vaguely could potentially maybe understand. But, I mean, you have special interest, but I don't really see how stalking fits into all of this.
Yeah, Stocky does seem like the odd one out. But, you know, the fact that he doesn't trust these goons sort of makes me trust him anyway.
That's kind of where I'm at. That, and if you've had any history with military in the past, usually you don't want to go back.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness Lyric didn't work out with Elara. That was... I don't know what he was thinking with that one.
And she kind of like gets slightly bashful and looks away. Probably something stupid.
I wonder if Sanchi surely notices this. Oh, no.
I mean, she's not hiding it fully. Or here, let me roll a deception because she sucks at that anyways.
Oh, well.
I lied.
I mean, what a manipulative person that Elara.
Is it any different from us?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Isn't
well,
it?
hey. I mean, I offered to Stockade that I could manipulate Lyric to get him to fall in line, and he said no, so...
Yeah, but that's
and like,
different.
give me 1 second. She's still apparently going on with this, like, yeah, it means nothing to me whatsoever.
Hold on. Please hold.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely different. You're just helping keep him in line before he blows all our cover.
I mean, it sounds like none of us want to be here, so at least 4 would be good.
Well, I was
Or
afraid.
better than 3.
I was afraid for a minute there that Lyric was gonna get himself entangled in staying here. Even when Elara was, like, when we thought she was dead. Like, I saw you crying and I was worried that you were actually, attached.
Not to her.
Good.
Okay. Hold on.
Good.
What's the point of a 4 in insight?
This is brutal for you. I'm so sorry.
I'm as wise as an owl. And as blind as a bat.
No, I just know how to act around you by now, apparently. I know
That's
how to
fair,
lie to
that's
you
fair.
specifically.
I'm surprised the guild hasn't tried to reach out at all. We've been gone for a while, but I guess they knew that we'd be gone for a while, so maybe they still think we're in prison, but
I
there's
mean,
just
do you
no
think
way.
the guild knew about any of the experimentation going on?
And Sanchi thinks back to, like, her experiences with the guild.
I think there's a good chance that they probably have some idea of what's going on. I just hope that they're making plans for countermeasures instead of just trying to profit off of it.
That's... yeah. I'm trying to figure out if they sold us out or not. Because...
No, my dad wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, I guess I owe your dad an apology because I thought I was just a fall guy for something to take the heat off of stuff, but seeing as how it was them, and she kind of has like a little irritated smile, that at least I wasn't completely sold out.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Feels like you can't really do anything to get around them. At least the mind link. You don't think there's a way they have to read the mind link, right?
Don't think so. I wouldn't think so. They can hear what we're saying. I don't think they can read minds, otherwise we'll probably know tomorrow and get our asses kicked or something.
If only. I mean, I'm sure we will. Elara's also a Kalishtar. Maybe that's part of what they want from her. A way to read people's minds.
It's possible, but I don't. I mean, normally that's not how it works, so I don't know.
That's not how
There
it
could
works
just be a
yet.
Kalishtar super brain in a jar somewhere that they're using to make the tech thing work, but that's my wild conspiracy theory nightmare dragon
Yeah, I mean,
BS.
you have to realize there was a time when people thought you couldn't run a 4-minute mile, and now everyone can do it. That's
True.
not how something works until it is.
True. And I'm still not fully sure they don't want Lyric and I for spare parts.
Yeah, that's a fair concern. Oh, well, I just wanted to check in, see how you're holding up, especially with all the crazy going on. Especially
I
with
think
Lyric being crazy.
And she rolls her eyes. I
I'm
think I've called out a decent bit.
looking at
Like,
that
very
eye roll
exaggerated.
suspiciously.
There you go.
You can tell there's something more for sure, but she definitely has a little bit of irritation with him.
Yeah, don't let him get to you. He's just, sometimes a little bit. You gotta be patient.
Gotta be patient.
Yep, he's just a boy. She's just a girl.
I'll fully admit it, he kind of reminds me of home, and it's nice, but complicated, but yeah.
Aren't well, yeah, about home. I mean, like, well, I think it's getting late. I gotta go. Gotta catch up with
Alright.
next time. Oh, reading for book club, don't forget.
What are we reading this time? Or
Um,
actually Mice and Owls?
No. I have to go to the library and pick something out, but I
Oh,
mean,
well, if you want,
keep an eye open.
I did get this from Genome if you want to look through it. It's nothing too terribly interesting. We'll hand over the book about the Pochel.
I'll flip through.
Alrighty. So, let me get that pulled up for you so I can share it with you.
And then Sanchi also is the cover fake? Like you
No, like I got it from the library. It's a perfectly normal book.
I got mine from the library too. You still wanna, I don't know. Just be careful with documents that they think are safe that they might not think are safe tomorrow.
I mean,
Shit, don't use that link. Do not use that link.
shit.
Do not use that link.
Oh, spoilers.
Click.
You
Literally
gave it to me, so
shared the wrong document. Do
seize the
not.
unshed button. Of the
Yep.
saying.
Yep. Quite literally.
Hurry, read it now.
No, I already unsent
It
so
says
don't you dare.
you've been egged.
Never gonna give you
not.
up.
There's egg on your
Let you
face.
go.
Is this the document I need? No. Where the Christ? Alright. Anyways, I will get the document for you. I literally just there it is.
So you sent it to me when in
I
doubt.
literally sent it to you and I could not find it. And I was like, huh, why does it say restricted again with the link? That's weird. Because I have it copied in my mass file. I'm now scared. Please be right. Okay.
You need 2 mass files. That'll help mitigate the confusion.
Yeah, that'll help.
To
You
share and not
see
to share.
everything. Ugh, that would have been brutal. Alright, anyways. So you head to bed.
Yes.
Officially.
And
And
after
poor,
lecturing
poor
Silas
Lyric.
about not being seen reading about the Pochel.
Yep, correct.
I mean, it's a historical document reporting
Yeah,
on it.
well, history changes.
True. And Lyric, after sitting outside for honestly was a great while longer after your fight,
Start off.
quote unquote, with Stockine, you know, like
Oh, now
your
I'm too
brain,
involved.
you're you're kind of just processing everything, and you know deep down there's one less place you have to go to, and you kind of start walking, and you're wandering the halls until you just kind of end up outside of Alara's office. And similar to what Silas saw, you saw the windows closed, the doors closed. Stockine's not in here because you can't see in the windows. And ultimately, you are kind of standing out there and you feel roll a whiz charisma check for me.
Charisma check. Oh, I was wrong the other day. Yesterday, ATP. It is one of my weakest stats.
Oh dang! I thought it was your
And
best one.
you
No, it's
immediately feel
Actually, no, that
anxious
makes sense. That
as
tracks.
your brain starts to kind of realize that you don't know what's beyond this door. You don't know if Alara is awake yet. You don't know if what you're going to say to her if she is, or what's going to happen. And as your brain starts to spiral, you remember some like wise words you were told from Connor and everybody else. And so you punch yourself in the face to finally stop thinking of that, and you just kind of barge in. You don't even knock, you don't do anything, and immediately
do I
to
really punch
your
myself?
oh yeah, you do. You fully deck
Oh,
yourself. But
okay, hold on.
yep. Well, you don't do it that hard at least. You
Just
punch
Just
it.
your own
selling stuff
face.
and smack, smack, smack.
Yeah. You feel,
It's because he's
some
listening to
hurt,
silence.
truly. And immediately you see just to your, I think it'd be your left. Yep, to be your left. You notice a barrel of a gun just sitting there and then slowly lowering as RQ pulls it down, and he goes, "Apologies. Usually no one comes down here this late, and most personnel are told not to come down here in the wing. It's late. Can I help you with something?" As he puts his gun away, and you see on the couch, Alara is knocked out with the jacket over her, and you see a lot of books on the floor as you notice the back wall that you guys can't see because of the POV, but it's literally just built-in bookshelves essentially. And you see several just stacks of books kind of on the ground as he's just like putting some of them like back up and like reorganizing them.
Lyric, kind of just looks at Alara for a second, then, well, he keeps his eyes on Alara, and he says, to be honest, I've only ever heard I shouldn't be down here once this late, but she didn't kill me then. And he pauses, he takes a couple steps closer and looks over to RQ. I had a lot of questions today, but before anything, I want to apologize for the commotion I started this morning. I'm sure you heard about it or saw it.
What
And
commotion?
I I asked something really stupid of your brother, and he responded, I think, appropriately. He's really turned into something. It's just really good to see him actually thrive.
Oh. And you hear him like you could tell there's like a small smile, and he goes, "Interesting. You've become so honest." He told me the same
Um,
thing. And I'll tell you the same thing I told him, which is you don't have to worry about footage being deleted or such. With us being on Team 17, only a select few people actually get to view our footage, including each other when we're needing to see it, when you guys are away. And even then, the few higher ups that do have access to it, they're only looking to see if you're plotting to leave. So you have no fear
Well,
on whatever was stated. If it didn't include you guys leaving, then they're not interested in it.
all right, that's good to hear. I really didn't. And then he pauses because he doesn't think that RQ actually saw. It's actually better I stop talking about it. But now that that's handled, and thank you for your reassurance. Um, and then he mind links with RQ. Is there any way that you can think of getting her out of here and you out of here?
Who? And he speaks out loud. Who? Elara?
Am I safe to say out loud? He
Again,
says
no
that out
one's
loud.
listening. No one's listening.
It's hard for me to tell anymore, especially when you kind of caught me talking about the time I did come back here late at night.
Well,
When he,
again, even if they are listening, which technically they always are, but they're not listening to anything pertinent. And usually, this office, there's restrictions to what they can and can't listen to. So,
and he rolls his like head around and puts his hand on his neck, um, almost in an embarrassing way. Like he's embarrassed to look at RQ, and he says, "Also, I'd like to apologize about flipping you off when we met. It's not that I don't still want the ass kicking that goes along with it, but let me rephrase that. It's not like I don't want to eat the sparring session that goes along with it, but I didn't expect you to answer so earnestly yesterday in the elevator, and I was really wrong about you. At least I think I am. I don't know.
most are.
I assume that's because you're like my team lead. He probably doesn't realize that he gave me what I needed today. But I probably ruined whatever good standing I had with him. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
you guys are aware I'm good at that.
Well,
And then he gets down to like he squats down, so he's basically sitting on his feet, his hands are on his knees in front of Elara. You know, it was really weird. Like, of course, I was scared of how crazy strong she was, but right, he looks back at RQ. Are you sure this? No one's listening besides us.
no worries. You're free to
And he
speak.
looks back. He looks back to Elara and he goes, "It's really hard. These last 10, 14, however many days, it's like the whole world has changed, and yet it didn't. It's all the same. But for some reason now I am afraid to share certain details with the others. I've never felt like that before. I've never felt like I wanted to keep secrets, and honestly, all this going behind people's backs and talking about things, and that's not what I'm comfortable with." And then uh, he almost reaches out to Alar, but then he stops and puts his hand down. I was weirdly comfortable in that when we were watching her, because that's kind of what I'm used to. I don't know what all you guys read about me, especially considering how you found me, but this is really all I know. Violence is well, it's not what I sought out. It's just what I've realized. It's kind of the only thing I'm. And when I saw her like that, I felt relatable. You know what's weird, RQ? Stalking thinks that he's protecting us by saying nothing, or maybe because we could learn some horrifying things. He like waves his hands like Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then
Mm-hmm.
and I know he's right to a degree, but he hasn't traveled like I've traveled. He hasn't seen the world like well, you've probably seen too. The only difference between the people she killed and the people that Sanchi and I have killed are location. Someone somewhere wanted these people dead, wanted someone dead. Some of them paid for it. Most of them probably paid for it. And whether they had a big budget like yours or a sizable budget like the Thieves Guild and what Sanchi's had to work with, or whether they are someone on the street who saved up every last penny so I could go hunt down some bastard. They all died the same way. They all died violently without any knowledge that someone was coming, and even if they did, it wasn't clean. And I don't know how she feels about this. I don't really trust the documents about her emotional states, but I don't feel like I can actually. I don't think any of my instincts are correct anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if she hates that feeling, like a few other people in my team hate that feeling, if she wants to get out of here and that's your goal, I hope that we can help. But ultimately, I won't step out of line or do anything too reckless if it means that they could suffer. And
I
if
see.
I ever become a problem, and he looks at RQ and his eyes glow a little. Well, you almost did it outside, right?
Hmm.
If I ever become a problem, don't put the gun down.
Hmm. And he kind of walks over to the desk. He goes, "Well, your audio is doing something crazy, homie. You are underwater again." Okay.
You know, that better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's better. Sorry, there was like echo also, and that's where I got confused. And I was like, "Huh?" One moment. Sorry.
So you went back. He went behind the desk.
Yeah. Yep. He went behind the desk. Sorry, someone messaged me, and I was like, "Ugh." So he goes behind the desk, and he kind of like opens a drawer, and he goes, "Now I'm not too sure on everything that happened, and you brought it up slightly in regards to emotions." And he pulls out like a small box overall. It looks like a nice normal box. And he goes, "I want to clarify this because I feel like it's going to come up anyways in regards to everything else that was reported to me so far. But I'm not too sure your intentions behind giving her this." As he gives you the box and you open it, and inside's the necklace, he goes, "When she arrived back the other day, I ran into her and she said to give this back to you. She could tell it was something really important to you. She obviously doesn't understand the why, but it seemed to be pretty important. She told me that she didn't want it to get damaged in the night of her training. So she decided to give it back after seeing what occurred in Grisor, the one time she tried to show more trust, which is slightly my fault, but given the reaction of one member on the team, she figured she must have made a wrong judgment call. Because, well, I hate to be this person and how I infer it. You haven't told me anything, but it seems pretty accurate. And I think it's pretty clear to say that she doesn't understand the concept of love, lust, affection, any of that. And she's ultimately trained on reaction. Someone has a reaction, she's trained to give an expected response. If she hasn't been trained in that scenario, she'll either hope for the best or choose the most fitting response. And or she stands there kind of like a robot, emotionless and cold. Ultimately, she told me that she thought you were just being friendly to just be friends, and then seeing she doesn't understand the concept of affection or interest in that regard. Um, I guess it saves her a bit of harm, maybe, who knows? But when she tried to show you more trust after you asked, and unfortunately, there was some accidental conditioning, seeing usually I told her I trusted her when I was busy fixing up her jacket and such. She saw how Silith reacted and figured her being friendly back towards you would just cause more rifts in the team, which she didn't want to cause. And so she figured she chose incorrectly. And I remember her calling me about every 3.5 hours, racking her brain about what she did wrong or how she misunderstood what you were asking of her, and to show more signs of trusting. And she mirrors what she's told to do. And ultimately, I think it was a bad case of just things being misunderstood, but she doesn't
Yeah, it
really
was.
understand what's going on between you and Silith, or the one sided breakup you're kind of going through. Seeing love, as you know, is a natural feeling and pretty complex, like trust. It's hard to explain, but it was deemed unnecessary for her purpose, according to everybody else, at least, who believes in that. So she wanted
Yeah.
me to make sure that this stayed safe, at least, and figured after the reaction that was given, it'd be best if she did not have it any further.
Well, that sucks for her. It says. Besides, to be completely honest, he smirks a little. If what that kid in Greasel said is true, it should probably go back to the wherever I got it from.
I think I'd
But
stay away from
anyways,
there for now. I mean, if you don't want to take it back, you don't have to, but
I
ultimately,
gave it.
she just told me she didn't know if it was appropriate for her to have it, given the reaction of others in the room that she read.
Look, and about the gift. When it comes to that, I gave it to her as a romantic gesture, and I did have intentions. And I'll be honest, she probably dodged a bullet, not being able to return them or return the affection. But where I'm from, a gift is a gift. You don't take it back just because things don't work out. If I sold it now, I wouldn't feel good giving the money where I want to give it to. That feels just as wrong. And just like it's okay that things were never mutual, it's okay that she can have it just as something nice for herself. I don't feel like she gets enough of that, considering everything I read.
Fair enough. And he takes it back and puts it back in the desk. I'll be sure to let her know.
And just so you know, because I don't, you know her better than anyone. I won't try to assume anything about how she feels or doesn't feel. But if I ever did actually do some damage to her, please find some time to hit me or something.
And he like looks
And
perplexed, and he's like, I don't go out of my way to be violent.
oh my god, all of you people. He just like backs up a little bit. No, I don't mean that. I just look. I'll be honest. I've gotten off scot free with way too much around here, and I'm I kind of want to spar with you because I know you'll win. I do want to learn, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm probably wrong in thinking this too. And he pauses and he backs up a little bit and he looks at Elara. And if you need more information to help her later, what it wasn't that I wanted to be trusted. I wanted her to know that she had my trust. That thing, that necklace, it's apparently a pretty pricey thing. It should land me back in jail if you ever need a written reason. And I don't know anymore about a lot of things. But yeah, I just didn't know if it would mean like she got mad that we thought someone could beat her, but at the end of the day, she's still here. Powerful as she is, and everyone has a bad day. And I didn't want to throw such giant gestures at her every time she felt like I was worried about her. And now I understand that she's been trained to feel that way. She's been trained to feel like she is the top. I'm sorry for any trouble I've caused you and her.
Well,
I intend on listening to the team lead from now on, and I'll make sure that whenever I get the chance to talk to Elara again, I'll try my best not to confuse her and remind her that she's got a friend at least.
I think that'd be good. She'll be up around Tuesday.
All right. And again, thank you for hearing me out. I've been quite the bastard to you.
Well, it's to be expected. You all are criminals in some regard.
Yeah, although I don't really understand how Stocky or Silas got here.
That's for them to tell you.
Well, I guess the document told me one, but oh, wait, actually, about that, no. No, alright. I brought this up to him, and I want to know how hush I should be about it. I already told him I won't tell the other two, because I do think I might be wrong. But I'm not good at picking up on emotions, but I do pick up on patterns, and the document you gave us told me that the way Elara runs around Stalkeen, is he a mentor?
Narq just kind of like shuffles around a few things on the desk and he goes, I guess that's a question you should ask Elara when she wakes up. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Bum, bum, bum.
Wow.
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 I hope everyone had fun and a good night
Gee.
and got some answers. Maybe got some more questions than answers, but that's okay. To each their own. But we'll see you all next time, folks. Subscribe, do all of the other normal things you do, and toodles!
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching our video. Keep updated on all things Plasmacoin by joining our Discord and following us on our social media pages linked in the description below. If you want more Plasmacoin content, subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels, and watch another video up in the corner here. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Bye!